Warning, the following may contain griffins. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced. Previously on Crit-Faced. Using the trusted name of the Wizard of Wine's winery, the party gains access to the walled village of Kresik, where they can gain access to St. Markovia's Abbey, the place Irina was last spotted in.
So, can I make a suggestion at this point in the game? Somebody did mention the prophecies, and somebody mentioned something about which items the prophecies refer to, but they don't all refer to items. So now might be a good time to maybe have a wee nosy, just to remind yourselves exactly what you're looking for and where you're supposed to be looking for it.
One who will help you. A misty graveyard. Yes, the mists. A stranger wanders this land, pulled from another world by someone else, doesn't stay anywhere long. St. Markovia's Abbey near the mist. That's all I had.
There's also a she. I think St. Markovia wasn't... so we're looking for a woman, I'm guessing? Or maybe St. Markovia is a woman?
Wouldn't she be dead by this point if the Abbey's named after her?
Yeah, probably.
I'm wondering if it's Jenny Greenteeth.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So we're thinking that maybe this individual who escorted Irina might be this wanderer through the mists? Is that possibly so? And they both might be up in the Abbey?
That's what I'm thinking.
And was the Abbey off limits? Like we were allowed into Kresik, but we're not allowed to pop up? Or now that we're through the walls, we can go up to the Abbey, no problem?
Well, you can have a chat with Dimitri about that if you wish.
Yeah, we have our escort.
Dimitri is the mayor, or the burgomaster, right?
That's right. And you've actually been brought already to his home, and unlike the burgomaster of Vallaki or the burgomaster of the village of Barovia, Dimitri just lives in just one of the wee huts that everyone else seems to live in. There's a pig pen off to the sides, and
the man of the people.
And he's just directing the wine shipment to the nearby cellars.
Okay, so is that our plan? We're going to ask Dimitri for permission to go up to the Abbey? Have we asked him at all about Irina yet? Have we asked if he's seen her?
Hardly had a chance to speak to him now. So.
Should we just have a chat with Dimitri and go from there?
I think wine and a fabulous dinner is in order.
Yes. Going to demand that.
Yes, those pigs outside look very suckling.
All of
them. So, what's the plan?
Are we inside his home?
No, you're outside. He's kind of directing. In fact, the wine shipment has just been unloaded, and the cart that you travelled upon is being escorted out of Kresik's gates.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm sort of famished. It would be lovely to have some sort of repast offered to us. Some sort of victuals.
Okay, and so Dimitri turns around at the sound of Jean's coughing, and you notice here now. Dimitri described him last time. He's a slightly above average height, quite thin man, not underfed, just there's not a lot of lean indeed. Wearing this sort of velvet, almost warm coat, and he looks tired. He looks drained. He looks as if this is a guy who's taken a lot of punches recently, and he sighs when he picks up on what Jean is hinting at, and he says, I do not think that coming into my home would be appropriate at the moment. We don't really have anything to offer you. Perhaps if you wait a moment, we can see if somebody else in the village will be able to look after some travellers for the night.
Bernard steps forward, digs his hand into his pouch and pulls out some gold pieces and says, "My friend Dimitri, we would not presume that you would feed us without recompense. Perhaps we can send for food, and then we could all feast together."
No, you don't understand. My my family. And he takes another deep sigh and looks at his feet and says, we are in mourning at the moment. It would not be appropriate to have to guests.
I'm so sorry.
And he looks away, as you ask, Master Sunanda, he sort of bites his lip a bit and he says, my son, last week we lost my son to the consumption.
The consumption? Would this be general sort of anemia, weakening, growing pale, holes in the side of the neck?
No, we have not suffered a vampire attack here in Kresik for the best part of a decade now. No, unfortunately, nothing quite as dramatic as that. He fell ill. We tried to look after him. Our efforts were not good enough. He has been buried. He is in the ground. We are doing what we can to.
Is anyone else in Kresik dealing with consumption?
No, it's not. It happens from time to time, but it's not unusual. Just obviously, it is difficult when you have to bury your own children.
Yes, that is very sad. I think we should move on quickly. I was sort of joke coughing before, but we are all quite healthy and not looking to take on any new illnesses at the moment. Thank you. Keep your pigs.
I don't say this out loud, but I still wanted to say when he said they were in mourning, we serve the morning lord.
Oh no!
Move along. These are not the consumption people that we're looking for.
Oh my god! Why don't we just ask about the Abbey and get out of this man's hair? He doesn't seem to be in the mood to cavort.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Abbey of Saint Markovia, is that a place we can visit?
Saint Markovia, I will be honest, we do not have a lot of dealings with the Abbey anymore. I believe in my father's time, they were much more open with us, but no, very rarely. Sometimes the abbot does come down to visit the Shrine of the White Sun here, but all he does is perhaps ask for a tribute of wine and then leaves again. It has certainly gathered a reputation as quite a strange place, and we try
does he
to
look?
ignore it.
Does he look well fed when you see him?
The abbot?
Yeah.
Yes, he seems fine. Yes.
Okay, so he enjoys victuals and wine. I don't know about the rest of you. It sounds like a promising fellow.
Do we know anything about the Abbey of St. Markovia? Can we do like a religion roll?
Yep. You want to do a religion roll, please?
Maybe it's a famous saint. Patron saint of bards or something. 2.
No, Bernard does not seem to, despite his time spent in Barovia, he does not seem to have come across this name before.
Hang on. Also a 2. Oh, that's so great. No, hang on, but I can put +3, which would make it.
No.
I think we've just revealed ourselves as pagans.
I mean, it makes sense. You guys are not from Barovia. I think Bernard was probably your best hope. No, you haven't heard.
I've got a -1 in religion, so that's never going to pan out for us.
Wow, what a paladin. Well
I know. No, it's like I told you. Very, very... Anyway. So, all right, well, I shoulder my pack and I look at my companions. Shall we make our way up to the Abbey and try our fortune there?
I suppose, is there any parting advice you would give us, any warnings or things that would concern a person such as yourself about approaching the Abbey? Are there ravenous gargoyles that leap from the parapets or anything like that?
Like, don't step off the path, don't accept any food or drink.
Yes.
No, nothing like that. It's a strange place. The bells, they ring at odd times, during the day. Sometimes in the middle of the night, there does not seem to be any pattern to them, and the noises sometimes. Sometimes we do hear screams.
Wait!
Oh,
you hear screams coming down from the Abbey?
Not actually the worst. Sometimes
not the worst.
The laughter. It just seems strange and unfitting for such a place.
I turn to my companion and I say, Barovia continues to deliver.
I find nothing funnier than screams. I can.
Is these happenings why you've chosen to disassociate yourselves from the Abbey?
That seems as good a reason as any, does it not?
Yes.
They have stopped over the years reaching out to us. So just naturally, my people, we survive here by keeping ourselves to ourselves. We keep away from the outside world of Barovia. That has served us well. It appears that keeping away from the Abbey is serving us well too.
How about this? Since this is he seems to appreciate wine, what if we purchase a few bottles from you that we might use to grease our entree into the Abbey? Does that sound like a good plan?
We come bearing wine kind of approach?
Yes. And at worst case scenario, we drink it.
Right there in front to spite them.
Yes.
In our community, we have very little use for money. We share with each other as we need. Is there anything else, perhaps, of use you have that I could trade? As you might imagine, wine, especially now that it comes rarely from the winery.
I reach out in my pack and I pull out a fine iron pot. And I've carried this for I don't know how many months, and you never used it. It's literally brand new. How about we trade you this fine iron pot, and I give it a smack so it rings out like a bell, and we'll trade you this beautiful iron pot for 2 bottles of wine.
And he weighs it and seems pretty impressed. He says, "Yes, I shall make sure that."
It weighs 10 pounds, apparently. It's a serious pot.
Yes, but that seems acceptable. And he nips back into the cellar, brings out two new bottles, newly filled bottles from the barrels that you brought, and
right,
makes the trade. You guys are eating cold meals for the rest of the campaign.
Well, I never use that pot. I'm assuming that they've got pots that we've been using.
I used it, but not for its intended use. I don't think. But it was dark.
Chamber pot. Got it.
Yes.
All right, and one last question, and we'll leave you alone. Absolutely. Do you know what god or religion they practice or worship up in St. Markovia's Abbey? Is it the Morning Lord, or is it something? Is it some dread creature from beyond the stars?
It is the Morning Lord, of course.
They do worship. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to get along great.
All on the same page. Yes.
All done. Fine. Great.
Oh, we do have another additional question, but Bernard is excused because he wouldn't know this. We're actually also looking out for a traveling companion of ours, a young woman. Have you seen her recently? Anyone come up to present?
Have seen her?
We get very few people coming through our gates at all.
That's why she would stand out.
Why? How recently do you think this would have happened?
A week?
A couple of weeks.
Oh,
How long have we been here? 84 years.
Certainly not. Certainly not. No, the last time those gates were opened was for the previous shipment from the winery.
So she went straight to the Abbey.
As a general rule, we do not let strangers inside. That's why we have survived for so long.
Have you heard any of these screaming laughs in the last 2 weeks? Any of these bouts of random bell tolling and screaming parties?
I do not really make note of them, but I imagine, yes.
That's unfortunate. All right, I think we should rush up to the Abbey before anything else happens up there.
Yes. Thank you, Dimitri, and our condolences. May the Morning Lord's blessing be upon you and your family from
Yes.
here on.
No, I second that sentiment.
Wash the pot.
He shifts a bit and he says, "Thank you. I appreciate it, and good luck. I hope you find your friend."
Thank you. All right, I turn to my companion and I say, does anyone else expect for us to be welcomed in a chilly manner at the gate? We sort of get grudgingly allowed in, and then they tell us to wait in the side room. They barricade the doors, and then it turns out the iron floor is actually over a huge fire, which they then light and cook us.
Not as specific, but something along those lines.
Have you had a rough life?
I've been in this country for 3 months.
Wow. No, that's not usually what happens. Usually we just show up and we talk for a while, and then we wake up some vampires, and some of us die, and some of us live.
That's right. Well,
Yes.
let's just watch out for iron floors. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, that's very
All right.
specific.
Rules.
All right.
Okay, so let's head on up to the Abbey.
Okay.
And you're doing the wine bribery, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yes, bribery, yes.
First you bribe, then you drink.
Well, we should sample it to make sure it's okay.
It's like an inch left at the bottom of the bottle by the time we get there.
No one expects the wine to be all the way to the top. You can take anything in the neck. That's just the angel's share. We all know that.
Is there any wine in the neck of the bottle?
No, I've drunk it.
It's gone.
Yeah, there's a few mouthfuls.
Okay, so you're gonna
We have 2 bottles anyway, so
yeah.
Oh, can we do something like treacherous to them? Does anyone know how to put a sleeping draft together, and then we pour the sleeping draft into the wine, and if we get up there and there are a bunch of villains, we say, "Oh, how about some wine before you eat us?" And then we give them the sleeping potion.
What is there alchemy or something that allows us to make a sleeping drought? Benedict? Medicine, right? That would be maybe nature.
No, you'd need to know how. Does anyone have anything in their character makeup that would suggest that they know how to make a sleeping potion?
Barbarians, of course.
You could go for Arcana, I guess. Let's go for, because it's a magic potion. Yep. So you'd be working on your Arcana skills there.
Yeah. Does anyone have any Arcana?
-1. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
I cast around the bushes on the side of the path on the way up.
Sorry, what are you trying to do?
To find some sleeping herbs or dysentery herbs.
Okay,
Or
if I'm trying to find herbs, that would be survival.
survival. Okay, that's much better. So I tell the group anything that can cause dysentery or sleeping.
Oh,
or
yes.
terrible bouts of paranoia.
Sleeping
And
dysentery is the worst.
you wake up and it's all over.
And you
All right.
can't go back to that hotel ever again.
Now a 7.
No, there's sort of thin grass here that's struggling along, and the
Just shove a bunch of grass into
yeah,
each.
good
We brought some grassy wine.
bit of heather,
Local flavor. All right, no. We march up to the Abbey.
Okay.
It was just a thought. Yes.
So, so it's a sort of a switchback road, it alternates from side to side just to climb up this cliff face. The road is about 10 feet wide, but it's covered in sort of loose gravel, chunks of broken rock that's fallen from above. So it's quite a slow and treacherous ascent. Guys, it's getting noticeably colder as you head on upwards. What's everyone wearing at the moment?
A holy symbol.
just the
That's all I need.
you've got like a tattoo on your bare chest. So,
Well, and that's keeping Jean warm, so
I'm wearing smelly rags and furs.
God. Yes, that's true.
I'm still in my robes, I think.
I've got common
I put on all
clothes
of my clothes.
and a bedroll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. So,
So
okay.
we're all going to freeze.
No, I guess I've got
So
my common
that's
clothes
the
and
end.
chainmail.
Okay. Right, so guys, the road from the village sort of climbs sort of above the mist. That's sort of onto this wide ledge that the Abbey's perched on. Again, there's a light dusting of snow here on the ground and on the trees. So leading into the Abbey building itself, guys, it's a walled sort of enclave, sort of taller, much taller sort of stone walls as opposed to the sort of the wooden walls of the village below. The path leads directly through 2 small stone outbuildings. So either side of which we've got these walls of stones. So they're about 5 feet high, 3 foot thick. And there are the road, however, for you guys is blocked by iron gates attached to these outbuildings by rusty hinges. From what you can tell, though, it doesn't look as if there's any kind of lock attached to this gate. So looking through the gate, you get a very clear view of the Abbey itself. And it's a 2-winged building, and there's a sort of those two wings are separated by a 15-foot high sort of curtain wall, and you can see the path along the wall you would take to walk from wing to wing. The north wing is closest to you guys, and there's a belfry protruding from the rooftop of it, and there's also a chimney coming from the north wing as well, which is billowing some grey smoke.
Well, I think the question is, should we be discreet or should we just announce ourselves?
Well, I feel like we have to announce ourselves. I mean, this is a practicing place of worship. They've done nothing to us other than apparently have screaming parties.
All right. And who among us might make the best impression upon those sort of people?
Well,
I'm thinking Master Sonov might be our best bet.
Well, yes, but
I am a paladin of the Morning Lord.
Exactly.
Oh.
So.
Oh, that okay. Well, but you're so handsome. I don't want you to get hurt. I mean, like they could throw something over the wall and hit you in the face, and then you just look like a cabbage for the rest of your life. You know.
I'll take the risk, my friends, and we'll all do this together.
All right, let's hold hands, and go together.
So,
can I do a general perception check to see if there's anyone up on that curtain wall or if we're being watched?
Yeah.
If there's a doorbell, can we?
13.
13. So there's nobody on the curtain wall, but you can make out some gentle snoring coming from the outhouse to your left.
Gentle snoring.
Like a dog? Or like a person?
That's actually quite a confusing question to answer. Yeah.
It's a werewolf. It's really hard to answer.
A dog person?
Yes.
We should let the sleeping dogs lie.
Oh, God. I say we let the barbarian go over there and knock him up.
But can we?
Is the outhouse beyond the gate?
Yeah.
Or part of the gate structure?
So the gate structure is attached to the outhouse. You can't see any. There's no doorway on your side, so the doorway must be beyond the gate to the back of it. If that makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
But can we open it? Like, is the gate actually open?
It certainly doesn't. You can't see any way that it would be locked. Like, there's no lock attached to it. There's no bolts pulled across it or anything. It certainly looks like a gate that you could just push open.
Can we check
The
for
hinges
booby
are-
traps or something like that?
Yeah. Do you want to take a perception check?
Yes.
And remember, too, the hinges are rusty, so it's probably going to squeal quite a bit.
Right.
And announcers, which is
Okay.
what we want.
I've rolled 7.
Okay. Yeah. No, you can't spot anything.
How about we just bang on the gates until
Yeah.
whoever's sleeping comes out and welcomes us to the Abbey?
I'll pull the concertina.
What time of day is this?
Dusk, I think.
No, it's just after midday.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, we're all agreed, right? This is going to go south very quickly.
Bernard,
So-
I think you need to...
Fly into a rage.
Hear ye.
And he's what?
Hear ye, hear ye.
Okay. I step up to the gate, and with the pommel of my blade, I just clang on the bars a couple of times. And I say, "Ho, monks of the Abbey of St. Markovia, you have guests." But I say it. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, you hear a sort of grunt and a gasp from the outhouse, and a bit of frantic movement and shuffling into view from around the corner. You see a cloaked figure. This is a really unusual looking individual. You cannot really see this person's face at all because he's got his sort of plain woolen cloak pulled down over him. He's moving with a bit of a stoop, and he shuffles over to you and says, "What? What?"
I am a paladin of the Morning Lord. My name is Bernard, and my friends and I have come to visit the Abbey. I ask that you give us admittance and take us to the abbot.
And he says, "What?" And then from behind where he came from, shuffles another figure. Now this figure is much taller. Doesn't seem to have the stoop that the first one had. But this person also has a cloak pulled across them, a grey cloak with a bit of a black fur trimmed on it. And she, as you'll hear as soon as she speaks, she beats at the first figure and she says, "Back, get back, get back." And then she turns her head to look at you guys, and she's clasping the hood of her cloak as much as she can across her face. So she's looking at you, and you can see, even though she's grasping her hand here with her hand is clearly with human skin, you can see that there's something going on with her eyes. It's looking like a feline, cat-like yellow with that sort of oddly shaped pupil, the oval pupil in it. And she looks at you and she goes, "What do you want what do you want in the Abbey?"
I detect good and evil.
Okay.
Until the end of the next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet. Mm-hmm. And I am also, as I detect good and evil. So are these friendly good people, or are they
within 60 feet?
Yep.
Okay, so guys, you all see. So Bernard, sorry, what does it look like as you cast this?
I think my eyes just flash gold for a moment. Okay. It's not a very flashy spell. It's more of an internal sense.
Okay.
So as I just sort of scan the area as my eyes flash gold momentarily.
Why are you looking at me? Don't look at me. I'm very good.
Guys, it looks to the rest of you. Obviously, you don't see anything actually do this, but it looks to the rest of you as though Bernard is just slugged across the face and goes absolutely careening backwards with the impact of this unseen blow. And I want you to take a Constitution saving throw, please.
All of us, or just Bernard?
No, it's just Bernard.
All right, let's see. 15.
Okay, so you are absolutely gasping for breath, but you still manage to retain your consciousness. It's not the it's not the figures in front of you that you don't really get any particular sense from them whatsoever. But you, as you were searching, you came into contact with something within the Abbey itself that knocked you senseless.
With an overwhelming sense of good.
Well. Certainly something of celestial origin.
So it was celestial, not fiendish.
That's right.
And was it good or was it evil?
It was celestial. You didn't get any particular sense of anything other than that.
Wow, and the two individuals before me, did I get a read on them?
Nothing in particular, no.
Okay, so I guess Bernard staggers back, his head. Look at him, he's took an uppercut. And as he gathers his senses, you see him staring like awe at the Abbey.
That's good news.
It takes him a moment, and then he says, "Inside the Abbey, there is some sort of celestial being of incredible power."
Good?
I couldn't tell. You would think so. But given everything we've heard, I'm assuming it's been perverted.
Perverted?
Yes, to the worse.
Oh.
Saying that there is
well, I think we've seen everything we need to see here.
Abbey?
Pardon?
There is a god in this Abbey?
A celestial being, an angel, could be a fallen angel, there's no way to tell.
Okay. So you guys are approaching from the north at the moment. So that's why the northern wing is the closest to you guys. And it's definitely something within sort of the
northern wing.
The northern wing, yeah.
I turn to the lady and I say, "What manner of creature or angel are you housing within the Abbey?"
And she...
Can I use a persuasion check?
Yeah.
Sweeten the ask. And a 15 again.
Okay. So she looks at you, her eyes are darting around and her movements are quite animalistic, I guess, as if she's, a stray animal that's been cornered, and she just looks really confused, and she says, "Hey, I do not understand. It is simply my family and the abbot."
Well, we need to speak with your abbot.
And at this point, the other cloaked figure comes into, tries to push his way up again, and he's making these animal noises, and she bats back at him, and as she does so, she bats at his the hood of his cloak, and his hood briefly falls back, and you can see that his face is certainly not what you would expect. Certainly not a human face. He's got one human ear, but on his right hand side, on the left hand side, there's a wolf's ear. But what stands out most is instead on the front of his face, instead of a nose and a mouth, he has a protruding wolf's snout and fangs. But he's looking at you with incredibly human, almost innocent eyes, and he sort of grins and makes this kind of strange, almost donkey-like sound before putting the cloak back over his head again, and shuffles back as he's beaten back by the woman.
I would like to leave. Must we continue?
Irina may be within, right?
But she could also be half dog at this point.
I think we found the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh my god. Okay. So there's a celestial being in there. There are some dog people, and we brought wine. I feel underprepared.
Is the lady opening the gate?
I don't think you've asked her to yet, have you?
I've said we want to see the Abbey. Let us in.
Okay.
Yes.
And she says, "Yes, we will bring you to the abbot. It is our job. Yes." And she opens the gate, and it creaks mightily as she pulls it for you and beckons you in.
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.